Hello everybody, it's me Pred, and I'm going to give you a short impression of The Elder Scrolls Online level 1 through 10, the way I see it or the way I experienced it. So at the beginning you have the character creation, and I think your character is highly customizable. It's really awesome. You can change everything. You can change hand size, leg size. You can put the cheekbones up or down. You can make the boobs big, the butt, whatever you want. It's highly customizable. Comparing it to other MMOs like WoW, for example, it's really awesome. You can create an individual character that you will or will not identify with. One thing I didn't like about the character creation is when you choose a faction. There are three different factions, like in Dark Age of Camelot. It doesn't really tell you anything about the factions. So the factions itself are um, they are in the Elder Scrolls lore, but if you're not an Elder Scrolls expert or have played the Elder Scrolls games thoroughly, you will not know what the factions are about. Same goes with the races. You don't really know what the races are about, except maybe from your common fantasy knowledge, which may or may not apply to the Elder Scrolls games. So you have a nice race variation here. For demonstrational purposes, I chose the cat people. They're called Khajiit, because I know Barani likes cats. And I'm not going to play as this character in this review. I just wanted to show you the character creation itself and what you can do and what you might do yourself when you get the game. So you have four different classes, and I'm gonna talk about the classes later on. You have the Sorcerer, you have the Dragon Knight, the Templar, and the Nightblade. And if you come from a different MMO, mostly WoW, I mean most MMOs are like this, you choose a class and you associate like a certain play style with that class. So for example, if you play a rogue or like an assassin, you will be mostly be like the sneaky kind of guy, or you will be like an archer, which can snipe people from a distance. And if you play like a Dragon Knight, for example, you will be either the tank, or you will be like the DPS, close range DPS. It's not like this in this game, so you kind of have to say goodbye to your old class separation thing. I mean, there is this kind of stuff in the Elder Scrolls Online. For example, if you want to be a healer, um, uh, if you want to be the most efficient, like a main healer guy, you would have to choose a Templar, because I'll talk about the skill system later. I mean, everybody has healing potential, because it's a little bit like in Guild Wars 2. You have like character eminent skills. I think there are like three trees, more or less, or three different skill directions you can go with your character, and then you have the weapon skills. So, for example, if you want to play Rogue, or the Nightblade in this case, you can actually be a tank later on, if you wanted to, because you can still use a sword and a shield, and then you can use the special sword and or one hand and shield skills, and kind of spice them up a little bit with your character, with your class skills. So that is kind of awesome. It works with being a tank. I don't know if you can actually be a tank as a sorcerer. I would actually doubt it, but you have a lot more freedom than in other MMOs, which is really great. So the game itself, the quests, the quests are awesome. Every quest is voice acted. Most of them, or the ones I experienced, level 1 through 10, are very well written. If you actually take your time to play the game, if you explore a lot, if you read the lore books, you will get a lot more little pieces of information which will you will see later in the game again, coming up as like in a certain quest. I'll talk about this later. The combat, really fun in my opinion. People were complaining about the combat a lot, that it's like the worst combat they've ever seen. In my opinion, it's the best combat I've seen in an MMO yet, because it's part skill based, because you can block every attack, you can dodge every attack, and it's part, you know, like typical MMO, what skills do I choose from a class, because you only have 5 skill slots in your little bar that you can use. You get skill points for completing dungeons, for completing main quests, and for leveling up, and there are other means of getting skill points. And these skill points are used for everything. So you can skill your weapons, you can skill your crafting, you can skill your racial skills with that. Later on you will get to meet the Magus Guild and the Fighters Guild, and they have skills which you can unlock with skill points. So you have a really big variation of where to spend skill points, what to do with your character. And now here we can see some combat. I'm a little higher level than these guys, so I kind of killed them pretty easily. So I just, I think I wanted to switch from 2-hand to 1-hand. I think I'll try both actually. 1-hand and shield is actually pretty fun, because you can block every attack there is, if you time it right. I don't know if you can actually see this later on, you will. I don't know about mages. You can block archers. I never noticed it with mages because they die so fast. So see, I just did not manage to block that attack from that 2-handed weapon right there. But you actually can, and you get less damage. Oh, there you saw it. See, he has like these stars around him, and that means he's using a special attack. And if you block it in the right moment, you will make him like stumble, and he'll be like dazed for a little while. And the cool thing about this is, I've heard of people in PvP. I haven't tried PvP yet. I've heard of people in PvP who blocked and dodged like a massive sorcerer combo coming from another player, and then just killed them. You know, and I think that is pretty awesome. It's a little bit like a Dark Souls light in the fighting style. Probably a lot of people are going to hate me now. But I think it is, because you have to dodge like heavy attacks, you can block heavy attacks, you can use your skill variations to use a little CC, like knock down people like I do here with my little spear. So I think the combat is really fun. And one thing I noticed in levels 1 through 10, I don't know how it's after that, like fighting, for example, if you play World of Warcraft and you know you have all these written quest texts and nobody reads them really because nobody wants to spend time reading that little print, you actually fight not that much compared to other MMOs. Of course you still fight a lot, but I think like levels 7 through 10 I fought maybe 50% of the time playing, because you have quests which are not, where you don't have to fight. You craft, you spend a lot of time crafting. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You spend a lot of time like going through the wilderness, exploring, you read the lore books. So if you want to, you don't have to fight that much. And on the other hand, this means that fighting doesn't get old. The fighting system, like dodging stuff, blocking stuff, moving around, you know, hitting the button, and you know, it's like a more action-based fighting style. You don't get tired of the combat. I am still excited by the combat, I have to say. And you can, you know, switch around different weapons, use different styles. Really fun. So what I used right there is you have like I think it's called soul magic. It's the way how you fill up your soul gems. It's like a little magic dot. It's like in the Elder Scrolls games, and if he dies like in 30 seconds, you fill up one of those soul gems. You need those soul gems, for example, if you die, if you don't want to resurrect at the next shrine or at the dungeon entrance, you can use that and resurrect directly where you died. But they're not that easy to come by, I would say. I had like 3 of them maybe, and I used them all up in this one dungeon. But who cares? And it's actually for rezzing other players, which I haven't done yet because I didn't have any soul gems. Graphic-wise, it's not. It doesn't have the graphic quality of a single-player game, but the graphics that are in the game are really well made, and they're very immersive. Having a lot of fun. I like this fight right here because I'm fighting against 2 people, so now you can see that you use a little bit more tactic. You knock down the one guy, block the one guy. You move around a lot, try to dodge attacks. There's another player helping me. One thing which I think is pretty cool, so loot is shared, there's no tagging of mobs, which I'm not too sure about, because I think like hitting the mob once sometimes doesn't work. I think it doesn't work, but it could be that the mob just didn't have any loot. But overall, loot tagging, no, not loot tagging, like mob tagging is not something that you have to worry about. So another big part of the game, which is really, really fun, and if you want to, you can spend your time with that, is exploration. One of the tooltips of the loading screens actually says, if you play, you should just sometimes like pick a direction and run straight forward. And I assure you, if you do that, you will find a lot of interesting stuff. You will find a lot of side quests. You will find some cool lore books, or you will, find resources. I have not been disappointed yet, or walked more than 2 minutes in one direction without experiencing something really, really cool. So overall, I think this game is very, very slow paced. I am at 15 hours played now. I did not stand around too much. Every time I logged on, I actually actively played. I played 15 hours. I'm level 10 right now. I haven't even experienced PvP yet. That was something I wanted to do the next time I actually have time to play. And yeah, it's very slow paced, but it's not like vanilla WoW slow paced where you get bored at some point, especially in the beginning. I think this is something that is different from other MMOs, and it's something actually that WoW tried to change over the last couple of add-ons. Is that in the beginning, normally you feel like a weak son of a bee, you're like really weak, you have like one skill, you look dumb because you only have like a leather strap in front of your genitals, and you try to kill some small wolves or something. And in this game, like from the first quest on, you feel like a real contributing person in the game. I mean, you don't have the skill variety of maybe like later in the game, or even with level 10, but still you feel good. You feel good about what you're doing. Yeah, look at this. You can see now you can buy horses. The money is pretty hard to come by. The first horse, like the weak one, costs like 17,000 gold, and the bigger horse is 42,000. So I've been playing 15 hours. I have not spent any gold except for maybe some fast traveling now and then, and to repair my gear, and I have like 1,700 gold. So I hope you don't have to grind for it. I just hope that the loot you get later on gets a little bit more valuable. There is no auction house in the game. They have something that's called guild stores. You can join 5 different guilds at the same time if you want to, and I think there are like 500 members per guild. I think that's the max. Could be less. I don't remember. And there you have like small auction houses in the guild. So if you have a 500 people guild, people can put their stuff up in the store, and then you can buy from people in your own guild. I don't know why they did this, to be honest. A lot of people are complaining about this, especially because the guild stores, they kind of suck. Like the layout of the menu sucks, and everybody's pretty dissatisfied with that. So let's talk about the crafting a bit. Um, I watched this developer interview, and they said that you can get about like 340 skill points in the game, which is enough to like max out your character more or less. But you have, I think, 5 or 6 different crafting professions, and you can level up these crafting professions without ever spending a skill point, because you get levels in the different professions, as with your different weapons. So the more often you use something, the higher you get up in level, and the more stuff you can actually do. But to get the bonuses of different crafting professions, for example, that you have a higher chance of creating something good, I don't know, or you get more material, you can deconstruct stuff. So to get the materials out of weapons you found in dungeons, for example. So to get more items out of that, you have to actually spend skill points. And I heard people saying that, like from the beta, that you can, for every character, you can only be maxed out in 2 professions and still have enough skill points for your other skills, which I think on the one hand is cool, on the other hand kind of sucks. It means that you can actually like do a crafting char, you know, which does like minimal combat and does all the crafting, which I think is kind of cool. You can like create like a merchant or something, like crafting merchant. On the other hand, is like if you want to play like a sword and board character, like a tank, you will need woodworking to get the shields. You will need blacksmithing to get the armor and the weapon, and you know, you could not use like alchemy or enchanting, you know, to enhance your stuff. So I don't know how I feel about this. I have to play a little bit more to see what this really is about. I haven't really done a lot of crafting yet, except for provisioning, because like every basket and every chest you find has some little food items in them that you can actually cook stuff with, which is actually my main source of money, because the little crafting materials you find, except for like iron, like the ingots and stuff like that, or the ore, you actually have to refine them before you can sell them for money. So, for example, if you find some pork meat and some, I don't know, some salt, they don't sell for anything. So you can't sell those for like money at the vendor. So you have to craft something and then you can sell them. The design of the armor looks pretty cool. I'm a little scared that everybody will look the same later on. I don't know. You can find these little recipes. They're called motifs, like racial motifs. And I found the Breton one, or the Breton. I don't know how you pronounce them. Now I can craft armor which looks like the Breton armor, and you can do that for like the Daedra stuff. You can find orc armor, imperial, and you just need like a little crafting material for that, like obsidian, for example, or bone, and then you can craft these different armor styles. So we'll have to see about that, if that is actually something I find like cool later on, because I'm a big visual guy when it comes to armor and weapons. You can play as a healer. There are 2 different ways to play as a healer. Either you choose a Templar who has like a healing skill tree, which you can, you know, put your points in, and you can use a Restoration Staff, which is a weapon more or less where you can cast heals with. So yeah, the resource system. So you have the Magicka, you have the Stamina, and you have the Health. And like for example, my character, or like I think most of the characters, you have Stamina for the weapon skills and Magicka for the class skills. And that's with the Templar, at least. I haven't played the other characters yet. So you actually have to choose wisely, considering your resource management, because if you only have Magicka spells, you won't get to use them all because your Magicka will be empty. Same thing I heard with the healing. If you want to be a main healer, it's not like spam heals, so everybody, has full health. You have to really, make a choice. Yeah, my biggest concern right now is actually the storage space. You have 60 bank slots, which are shared by all of your characters, which is not enough at all. Even if every character had 60 bank slots, it wouldn't be enough, because it's just, Elder Scrolls games, always a game where you hoard a lot of stuff, especially crafting materials, and some, like runes and stuff for chanting later, and you can't really keep those because they will clog up your bank and your inventory. Your inventory, you only have 60 slots as well. You can buy a horse later on, where you have some storage space, but the horses are so expensive, as I showed already. So yeah, storage is it's pretty bad at the moment. Sometimes you go into the dungeon and your storage is full, and then you have to walk back and sell stuff you don't really want to sell just so you can do that dungeon and do some more stuff. So yeah, I hope they will change that. So coming to a conclusion, this game has surprised me, really. It doesn't feel like a race to end level, it just feels like an awesome adventure you're on. Everything being voiced, the music being awesome, the graphic being appropriate for this kind of game. I'm really surprised, and in my opinion, this could actually be an alternative to WoW, because WoW has gotten more and more of a grind, I think, with like every expansion, or maybe it has always been a grind. And WoW is 8 years old. You grow up, you become, you're not a teenager anymore. You're not in your early 20s, and you're looking for other things in a game. Maybe you're looking for the story elements, and maybe you're looking for story elements you can actually experience with your friends. And I think this game's perfect for that. It's perfect for coming home in the evening and just immersing yourself and maybe a couple of friends in this game. So yeah, I'm going to be playing this game. Don't believe any any negative ranting you read on the internet. I can highly recommend this game to everybody who enjoys the Elder Scrolls games and who enjoys the online RPGs. Yeah. So I'll leave you guys with this awesome thing right here. You have something in the main story called anchors. So basically the bad guy is trying to meld this dimension with our dimension. And so sometimes you have these portals appearing out of the sky. And I had this, I think yesterday, I was like, it was night in the game, and I was walking around by myself, and suddenly there was this group of NPCs, and they were like chanting, and they were like performing this ritual, and suddenly you have this loud buzzing sound that you just heard from the portal, but it's like much louder because you're close to it. And then suddenly this huge ass portal opens up in the sky and pulls all the clouds together, and you have all these comets coming down, spawning demons, and suddenly everybody rushes, all the real players like rush together and try to fend off these demons. So that was actually a pretty awesome experience. You have these, I was surprised by a lot of quests in the game. I was so surprised that sometimes I thought, well, this is not just like an MMO, it's actually an Elder Scrolls game. So, like, some of the quests were so good that I actually thought I would be playing the Elder Scrolls that came out after Skyrim. I don't mean gameplay-wise, I just mean quest-wise. So I'll leave you guys with that, and I'll post my new review, I don't know when I'm done with level 10 to 20. So I'll see you guys then. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoy the game. Goodbye.